How did I... That man, he was just here. His face. I don't know if I'm lost because I ran off from the mansion without paying attention to where I was, or if I'm lost because I'm not in the same place that I was when that man reached for me. I don't recognize this area, and I'm not on the road. I haven't seen the mansion. I can't even hear the river. I don't know if I'm okay. I don't feel okay. My stomach is in knots, and it feels like I can't get enough air into my lungs. My thoughts are sluggish. Like when you wake up from too little sleep, and you just can't get your mind to function the way it should. I'm not injured, but I don't feel okay. I don't feel like I'll ever be okay again. These recordings, they're keeping me sane, giving me a way to process this, I guess, an excuse to calm down, because I'm certain that you couldn't understand what I'm saying if I'm just sobbing it all the time. And some small part of my brain feels like maybe if I could just explain what's going on well enough, then all of this would go away, and I'd be home again. Home. I want to go home. Except for random crying jags a couple of times today, I've made good time. Or I think I've made good time. I've covered a lot of ground. I stopped in the evening to eat, but I'm just not hungry. And I know I should be. I know I need to eat. I just feel sick. And every time I stop, I get so anxious. I have to stay moving. It's just like that teacher said, you know? The man in the woods. His face. I only saw it briefly, but it was... Have you ever seen someone in that strange light where their face is reduced to what protrusions catch the light? The eyebrows, the nose, cheekbones, chin, and everything else seems lost. Sunken in and just missing. It's like that. She was right. His face, there's no way to describe it except empty, vacant, missing, hollow. And God, she must have been so scared. I forgot how dark it can be once you're away from the ambient light of cities and cars. Or I had forgotten. Except for cloistering myself inside of what buildings I could find. I guess I've been exposed to it this whole time. But I wasn't walking in it. The moon is up, but the trees and the fog is so thick. It doesn't do much to help me. And I'm using the flashlight on my phone, but mostly it just creates shadows. I keep hearing this sound. It sounds like it's all around me, but there's nothing here but the trees. They're hanging. They're all hanging from the trees. I couldn't see them at first. I couldn't look away from their feet swaying above me. A dozen of them at least. Men and women and then my flashlight lit one of their faces. And it's just like his. And their lips move. I couldn't move. I couldn't believe that they couldn't speak with the ropes. Couldn't get the air past their lips, I suppose. But a couple of them whispered. Their faces were blue. I stood there for a long time, but I needed to be sure. I needed to know that Cody wasn't. I needed to know that Cody wasn't there. The sun is coming up now. I'm sitting with my back pressed to a tree and I keep looking up. They aren't here. They must be miles behind me now. I need help. I need to get out of these woods. I've been trying to use the GPS on my phone, but it spins and spins and never finds me. My folks must be so... God, this must be killing them. First Cody and now me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom. Dad. I meant to help us. I meant to help us. To find Cody and show you that he wasn't gone. And now... Now I'm missing too, aren't I? I'm missing, and even if people in the towns I passed remember me, you'll never find me out here. You'll never find me. I can't do this to them. I can't let my family think that I'm dead if they lost another child. I have to get back to them. I always thought that it would be the easiest thing in the world to stay determined with fear or adversity or danger. I thought that instincts would make you want to survive. Adrenaline kicks in and keeps you running. But eventually you've been running on fear and adrenaline for so long. You start to lose perspective. It starts to be tempting to let whatever happens happen. But when I think about my family, sitting there wondering where I went, just like they did with Cody, sitting there blaming themselves and agonizing over what went wrong, I can focus on that. If nothing else, I can get back to them and end this nightmare for all of us. The sun is up. And I feel like I've been hit with a car. My body aches. But I can keep going. For them. I think I twisted my ankle pretty badly last night. When I was finally able to tear myself away from those people. I ran again. In the same direction that I'd been heading, I think. But I caught my foot on a branch and fell. Of course, I was freaking out at the time, so I kept running and running on it. And now... it's pretty swollen. There's a building through the trees. I must be coming close to another town.